All right. Questions for Brandon Kennedy, please hit the raise your hand function and we'll call on you, and please keep your line muted. We'll start with Jimmy Himes.
Brandon, talk a little bit about the offensive line. I know you got hit pretty hard by the virus. Do you think you've been able to build chemistry on the offensive line? And what are your expectations of the line this season?
Yeah, so starting off, I think we've been really good at building chemistry. You know, the thing about COVID, it's allowed us to get some different guys at different positions this year. So I think it's been great. And, you know, our expectations going into the first game is we want to be physical up front. You know, we want to make a name for ourselves by being, you know, with our physicality. So that's kind of what we pride ourselves on as offensive line.
We'll go to Gustavo, followed by Teresa Walker.
Now you're a senior and also, the season starting Saturday. How are your expectations? How happy are you to play on Saturday? And have you been talking to your classmates, to people at UT about this excitement for the Saturday game?
Yeah, me going into this season, I'm very excited. It's my last season. I worked very hard to get to this point. So, I'm just excited and ready to get out there. And, as far as talking to people from the outside about playing, my mom, she's very excited for me. She's been here throughout the whole process, and just seeing me get this far, she's very happy. All my friends have been talking to me about it, and they're all just excited and, ready to see some football on Saturday.
Teresa?
Brandon, about that opening on the road, does that make it maybe a little easier, considering that it's a different season to begin with the limited number of fans? Going on the road to South Carolina, make that a little easier maybe?
I mean, yeah, I think it'll be easier, without the fans, so we'll have that external factor not there. But, I mean, I'm sure they'll have maybe crowd noise or something that we'll have to adjust to. So we've been planning for that in practice, and I think we've done a good job at, kind of getting those things right.
We'll go to Brent Hubbs, followed by Trey Wallace.
Brandon, if I heard you right, I think you told Jimmy that with all of the guys that have been out during the preseason, it's actually helped you guys in some ways with some of your chemistry because you've worked different guys in different spots. Why do you think this group has better chemistry when most people say you need to settle in on who your five are to develop that kind of chemistry?
I think we have better chemistry now because, throughout this whole fall camp, we've allowed some guys that maybe wouldn't get certain opportunities. They've got more opportunities and they've been able to learn and kind of grow. And also some of the young guys, they've been able to get more opportunities. And it's just this whole pandemic has allowed them to kind of come along. And we feel great going into the first game about, who we'll have out there.
Trey?
Brandon, how has your relationship built with Jarrett Guarantano over the last year, heading into this? You guys both last season. So what's the relationship been like? How much work have you guys been able to put in outside and off the field?
Yeah, me and Jarrett, we have a great relationship. We watch a lot of film and we talk about things other than football. So, I think we built a great relationship and it kind of boosted over the offseason. We're always trying to watch film and, talk about how we think. So I think that'll be good and very helpful through us going through the season.
We'll go to Rick Russo, followed by Blake Topmeyer.
Hey, Brandon, what can you tell us about that South Carolina defense that you'll be facing on Saturday night?
Yeah, well, I think, Muschamp, he has a good defense. They're pretty good up front. They have some younger guys that will be stepping into kind of a newer role with starting. And then on the back end, I think they're pretty good and have a solid secondary. And I also think, linebackers are pretty good as well.
Hey, Brandon, obviously you guys finished last season really strong. The start of the season was more of a struggle. Have you guys had any conversations about that and thought about, what you can do to make sure you avoid, that from happening again in terms of the way the season started?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we've really harped on is the team that makes the fewest mistakes will win. So that's kind of what we've been harping on this whole time, is just trying to play clean football and, penalty-free and things like that. And I think if we do that, we put ourselves in a good position to be able to be successful on Saturday.
We'll go to Vince Ferrara, followed by Patrick Brown.
Brandon, talk about some of the battles you've had in practice with your teammates on the defensive line. Any memorable one-on-one matchups, guys giving you, the toughest battle? Talk about what you've seen from that group opposite you on the Tennessee D-line.
Yeah, well, I think the defensive line done a pretty good job, but some of the guys I go against, I got to give credit to, such as Elijah Simmons and Jarrett Garland. I think those guys have done a great job. They're very explosive coming out their hips, and they've grown over the course of the offseason as far as becoming more knowledgeable of the defense. So I feel like that there are two pretty good guys on the defensive line at the nose position.
Hey, Brandon, the expectations for the offensive line, I think, are pretty high going into this season, maybe externally. What are the expectations for you guys? What do you guys want to accomplish, and how much do you guys as a group talk about what you guys want to accomplish and how you guys want to be a strength of the team this year?
Yeah, well, I mean, our offensive line coach, Coach Friend always tells us we want to set the tone. So I think if we set the tone for the team, we can be very successful. But, we want to be able to win our box. So, it's 5 guys. We have a job every play. And that's kind of what the goal we set is going to in the game. We want to win every play and dominate our box. So that's kind of the 2 things that we focus on as offensive line.
Back to Jimmy Himes, then David Pascal.
Hey, Brandon, last year Trey Smith really wasn't able to practice. I think he had like 1 padded practice before the bowl game. But he's been practicing more. Do you see an improved Trey Smith on the offensive line because he has been able to practice?
Yeah, I think he's grown to be more comfortable with the amount of time that he's able to practice. And, also when he isn't able to practice, we have other guys that are able to come along, and some of the younger guys or maybe older guys get a chance. But, yeah, I think he's, more comfortable, and he's growing a very good player.
Hey, Brandon, was there a time where, it's Tuesday of game week, was there a time that you didn't think this would be happening? Did you have some doubts that you would even get to this point with the COVID?
Yeah, most definitely. Being honest with you, sitting back in April, we didn't know what would happen, as a team, and also, me as a person, just, we were just kind of concerned, and there was a lot of uncertainty. But, now that we've been able to go through the summer and kind of gotten a deal on the COVID and know what to expect and kind of, the medical professionals are giving us advice on, how to attack this COVID. I think we've done a great job, and I'm kind of excited now that we got to this point.
And as a quick follow, even when y'all had the 44 players out, was there still some hesitation, or did you feel more confident by that point because y'all were kind of just working through it and living through it, the ups and the downs?
It was kind of tough at first, but, like I said earlier, with us, people were able to kind of grow. And, if someone was out, we were able to have someone else step up. And I think that kind of allowed guys to grow and become more comfortable with playing and learning the plays and fundamentals and things like that.
We'll go to Ben and then back to Trey.
Hey, Brandon, you were asked about JG earlier. Was curious as to what you've seen from JT Shrout this fall camp and the progression that he has made from last year.
Yeah, I think he's making good strides, as a quarterback. I think as far as his, mental process, and I think that's kind of rolls over the offseason. All the quarterbacks, they've been able to, get with Coach Winkie, and they've kind of grown as far as the quarterback group.
Trey?
Brandon, what it's your whole college football career, this will be your last season. What's it been like to represent Wetumpka and also be able to make an impact on what you're doing in the community as well as just on the football field?
I think I'm blessed to have this opportunity. And, anytime I get to, talk to people back at home, I just always give them advice or anything that they may need. I always try to give back. And I feel like that's one of the things for me, being an older guy, as far as giving back to my hometown and giving back to, some of the younger guys on the team, just being able to bring them along. And I think that's kind of, my role as a senior here, and I'm very excited to do it.
We'll go to Brent Hubbs and then to David Ubben.
Brandon, as a veteran guy, what do you see out of Javonte Spraggins as a freshman that you like, or maybe what's impressed you about him with the opportunities he's gotten during fall camp?
Yeah, well, as a freshman, he's got, a lot of reps, with the offensive line. And the one thing I see out of him is he's very aggressive, and he plays hard. And, as offensive line, that's kind of one of the things that really sticks out and people see is when you play hard, it shows up on film. So that's kind of one of the things that I see from Javonte Spears.
David?
Brandon, when you look at this line right now and you look at where it was in January, what's the biggest difference?
I think the biggest difference is probably the fundamentals. I mean, I think we got a way better grasp of what we're doing as far as, maybe the plays and the calls and things like that. I think we got a way better grasp of that as opposed to January and now. So I think that's the biggest thing.
All right, time for a couple more. We'll go to Eric Kane and then close with Jimmy Himes.
Hey, Brandon, I know the live reps might be few and far between during camp, but when you have gone up against Jeremy Banks, Quavaris Crouch at inside linebacker, what have you seen from those guys, and how have they gotten better over the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, those two guys, they're very physical. So that's the one thing I'll say about them. And then also, I think as far as them being able to see formations and being able to kind of recognize things before they happen, I think that's kind of the things that those two are growing in, and I think they've gotten way better in.
Jimmy?
Brandon, you said this is your last year, but this year doesn't really count. So I was just wondering, is there a chance you might set a college record by being a seventh-year player next year?
Right now I'm kind of focusing on this season. It really wasn't in the plan, but whatever happens after this season is kind of up to chance. So I'm just kind of taking it day by day as far as this 6th year that I have, and if it may happen in the future, it may. But as of right now, I'm not really sure.
All right. Thanks, Brandon.